Hello everyone, once again welcome back, and in the previous video we completed our CRUD functionality using API resource, right? And now the time is to the authenticate our API. So we will use the Laravel Sanctum package to authenticate our application, and let me go to the Sanctum official website here. Okay, the Sanctum is a Laravel package which is used to authenticate the application, and it's covering everything behind. It's basically working as OAuth authentication, right? So you can also give it a more read from here. Laravel Sanctum provide a featherweight authentication system for SPA single page application, right? Mobile applications and simple token based APIs. And now we are building the application for web-based tokens, right? They are building the API for the web-based tokens and mobile-based token, and it's almost identical, right? In the mobile apps we return the JSON, right? And in the web APIs we return this to the view, right? We return the collection to the view, or we return the only single object to the blade or view. But in the mobile app we need only a JSON response. Everything is identical. Okay, and in the SPA it's different to it's handled using the Laravel cookies, session based cookies, right? Okay, and here how it works. API tokens. So Sanctum is a simple package you may use to issue API token to your user without completion of OAuth. Okay, OAuth is also used for authentication. This feature is inspired by GitHub and other applications which issue personal access token, for example, account setting for the application and so on things. So it means that it's use a personal access token to authenticate the user, right? Okay, and Laravel comes by default with this. So in the new version, Laravel comes by default with this personal access token, which will store our access token in this table, right? Okay, and whenever we are sending our request to the secured or authenticated endpoints, so basically it's checking the checking our token, our bearer token, is it exist in the request. So it will return the response, otherwise it will throw 403 exception, the forbidden, you are not authorized to perform this action, right? Okay, we are not going to explore this SPA authentication, and first part is installation, how you install this into the Laravel application. And if you are in the Laravel 8, 9, 10, or maybe 7, I'm not sure about this. So Laravel comes by default with the Sanctum, right? And you don't need to install this out, it's already installed. And then you also don't need to do this, and this don't need to also do this because there is already added this personal access token. Okay, and here this step is for the SPA. You need to enable this into your API middleware. I'm not going to do this because I'm shooting this for the API, web API tokens or mobile tokens. Okay, sorry guys. Okay, and issuing API token. So basically it's required this has API token trait to generate the token for the user, and it's come by default with the user model. If you are using the different model to generate the token, so you need to add this trait into your model. So if I go to the model user, and yes, this has API token trait is already added in the user model by default. I didn't get this. Okay, and to issue a token you need to use this create token method, right? And create token, and then you need to create this into the plain text to copy the token and send it into the request, right? Otherwise it will be encrypted, so you cannot access the original value of token. Okay, and here everything is identical, and now I'm going to apply the middleware on my routes, so which you performed in the previous videos, right? Like this index, right? And it's displaying all of the all of the task. Right now I want to secure this endpoint, so only authenticated user can access these route. So how to do this? And let's go here, and let me go to the routes API, and here I need to add the middleware, right? Middleware, or you can copy this and add to the above one, like you can add this here, right? I'm going to add make this separate middleware, right? Like this middleware, and here you need to use this sanctum middleware, sanctum, and then oops, you need to add this auth and then sanctum, like this, right? And it's now done. And now if I made this request again, so it will throw 403 forbidden send. Okay, it's returning HTML, so let me escape the HTML, accept to application JSON send, and message unauthenticated. So it means that I'm not authenticated, that's why it's giving like this. So now how I can authenticate myself? So I need a bearer token to pass this in this authorization, right? Request to process this to access these all tasks. So how to do this? So first I'm going to create a register route where I will create my new user, and then I will log in this user and access the authenticated resource. Okay, and here in the uh, yes, so I'm going to create a new login here. Okay, let me create a new add request. So this would be the first, let me add this register, and then this would be the post request, and other would be the API slash v1 slash register, right? So I'll create this route in a minute. v1 register. Okay, and here I'm going to add the route register, and which controller we are going to use. We are not going to create a new controller, right? Or we can control the auth controller, which will contain the register stuff, login stuff, and logout stuff. Or we can create the separate controllers like register controller, login controller, and logout controller with the only one method. And for the one method we use the invocable controller, right? So now question comes that how to create the invocable controller. So simply go here and type php artisan make controller, right? And inside the API, this would be the register controller, and then you need to add this API flag here, right? No, not API flag, you need to add the invocable, right? Invocable, and then this will create invocable controller for us. Okay, it's created, and if I visit this http controllers API registered, and yes, now this contain only invoke method. So what is the meaning of invoke? So invoke mean that we have only one method in this controller. We cannot use multiple functions inside this register controller. It will create only consist of only one method, so that's why it's called invoke. So let's close this one, and here I don't need to pass this inside the array because it's contain only one method. So I'm going to add this register controller like this, and then you can also specify its name like register like this. Okay, and in the register controller, now here I want to also validate the user request. So let me create a new request here. It be artisan, or I think by default there will be a user request. No, there is no request. Okay, no problem. uh, Let me create a new request. Make a request, and this will be the, and the API, this will be the user user request. Okay, it's created here. I'm going to use this user request here. Let's move this user request, turn this on, so it's contain the name of the user, right? Name would be the required, and then this would contain the string, then maximum 255. Okay, and then this would be the email. This would be also required, and this would be the unique, and then you can just only specify the table here. So this would be unique in the users, and let me add this inside the quotes here, and then this should be the email, and then there will be the password. Okay, and then this should be also required. It should be the minimum, should be the minimum value, minimum 6, right? We want to accept the secure password. Okay, so now our request, this one is ready. Let's close this one. We added this request here, and now let's register the user here. I'm going to call this create, not create, this user model, and then call this create. Okay, and here I'm going to use this name, and in the name I want to accept this request to name, email, the password should be hashed, right? Make sure this hash make, or you can also use the latest one, str facade, to create the password, or you can still use this hash password. Okay, great. And after this I want to store this into the variable user, and when my user will be created, I want to return the user, and I also want to create access token of this user. So let me create the access token, or I can directly return this and create this inside this request. Here I'm going to return response. I want to respond this as a JSON. Okay, JSON, and here I'm going to pass this user um, user above this object, right? It will return the newly created user, and here I want to return the token. And how to create the token, so it's clearly mentioned on the official docs that you can use the create token method. User create access token, and then here you need to specify your access token name. Laravel token, you can name whatever you want, and then after this you need to add the plain text, otherwise this would be the hash token. So I don't want to get the hash token, I want to get the plain token, right? Use this plain text to token method. It's a property, not the method. Okay, and then call this like this. So we'll create access token, Laravel token. Not total, it's a Laravel token, guys, sorry. Plain text token, and now let's give it a try here. This would be the body raw, and here I'm going to body, and I'm going to accept the JSON, and I'm going to pass the tail of the user. Name would be the Dayat Niazi. This is my name, and then should contain the email, and email would be the This would be the contact at cdlcell.com. This is our official mail, so you can contact with us. And guys, I will let me tell you in a minute. And here I'm going to pass the password, right? And do not add this trailing comma, right? Otherwise it will throw the option. Okay, and I'm not going to send this request now. Before this, I want to tell you something that I have created this solutions.cdlcell.com website for the Laravel solutions. So I'm shooting all of the courses on the Laravel. So if you are facing any problem during the development, you can post your questions here and I will answer these questions, and these questions have different badges. So this will be, if this will solve, it will mark this as a solved. It will help also others, and it will also help you to solve your issues free of cost. You can also check our members here, right? How many members are there, right? And you can also get instant help from us using Upwork, or if you don't have any Upwork, you can do this without Upwork, right? And you can ask the question here, right? After logged in this, you can ask the question, right? Okay, now let's close this one. You can ask this like here, ask question, first sign up, and then ask the question, so it will redirect you on the administrator. Okay, now let's send this request to, I think everything is ready. Let me accept this only JSON application JSON body. Now I'm going to send this request. Send. Post method is not supported for this route. Yes, it's correct. uh, Here, let me go here. I need to create the post. I forgot to change this. Okay, post. Now let's send this because this one is also post, so we are sending this on the post to route. Send. And it's still it's returning unauthenticated. Weird stuff. Why it's throwing this? Oh, because I added this inside this Sanctum Middleware group, that's why it's showing this unauthenticated. So let me add this without this one, because we are logged in, right? We are logging in, right? We are registering ourselves and logged in. Again, that's why we don't need this authentication, because after this we will access the authenticated routes. So send this request. API v1 couldn't be found. Okay, so here this one is a v1, and now we are outside of this prefix, so we need to remove this v1 from here. Now let's send this request, and it should call to undefined create access token. Okay, let me make this create token, not the access token, right? So it will be the create token method. Save this one, give it a try again, and I'm very sure that this will work. Send. And it says that email has been already taken. So let me add new mail here. CDL1 send request. And yes, our user is now created, right? And it's returned a token. So this token is used for the authenticated user. So this user is now authenticated, and I can use this token to access any of the route which is authenticated. So let's close this register route. So this one is returning the unauthenticated, right? So I'm going to loading all of the tasks. If I send this out, returning unauthenticated, right? So now I will came here in the authorization tab, and here just select this bearer token, right? Remove the previous token and paste the newly token which I copied right now, paste, and now send this request. So this request will be passed and display the all of the tasks, because now I'm authenticated user. Send. And yes, now still I'm able to access these all of the tasks, right? If I came here and remove this M, still I'm unauthenticated. Send this out, and yes, it's still throwing the unauthenticated. So undo this, send, and yes, I'm still able to access the access the authenticated route. So this is the way how you can create the access token. So we created this inside the register stuff, and we will also create this for the logout, and how we can revoke these tokens after the logout. So let me check the video size. Yes, oh my god, it's going bigger, but it's too much important video, right? So hope you are learning a lot from these videos, and thank you so much for joining with me here in these videos. So I'll meet you in the next one. Take care. Bye.